Vocabio. Master English your way.
For the first time and was immediately enthralled. I wanted to know how the galaxy came to be.
Time on the weekends, and he was so enthralled with using these spheres.
Danielle has spent her career enthralling audiences through her portrayals of some of the most memorable. Danielle has spent her career enthralling audiences through her portrayals of some of the most memorable.
Get them to tell it, and that's what makes it so enthralling. How do you do that?
Well, I think that's part of the...
On the most famous painting in the world that's eluded experts and laymen alike. Well, I have a long...
What we're trying to communicate is something that eludes many of those senses. And, you know, I think...
On the most famous painting in the world that's eluded experts and laymen alike. Well, I have a long...
Seems to be eluding the larger population.
Great. So
you've said that there have been a couple of guests who've eluded you, and I'd love to know who are the ones.
Kids, they love to rewatch and sing. Listen to your vegetables.
I love that advice, and I'm gonna rewatch this so I can write down the 3 steps. Assembly is the one.
Vous me faites penser que je devrais regarder à nouveau le film sur sa vie. J'ai eu la chance de
You know what? I will go back and rewatch the movie now with the new, very little knowledge.
Or too many things and gain weight. So if you don't overeat, you will not gain weight. Then
environment. If you overeat, you don't exercise. If you're stressed, these will.
Can't doing dysfunctional things. They overeat. They overdrink. They use drugs. They oversex.
From your stomach and not this drive to overeat, and that is really what they follow.
You know, indulge in some type of food and overeating over a period of time, or
Friend at school, all these things you berate yourself with, a bit like having hangs on.
Meeting where he berated Narishkin, the head of the FSB, in a very humiliating.
Videos of Karen at the front of the McDonald's line, like berating an 18-year-old because her fries are cold. We've seen it.
Friend at school, all these things you berate yourself with, a bit like having hangs on.
They're being beating and berating those along the wall. The Detroit Police Department are...
I'd be in the hallways, I'd be walking home from school, people would be heckling me out from the bus, like, shut up! You know, and...
I don't know what this is, and then they started heckling, and yeah, it was just really bad.
So, without interruption, even the mildest heckle might feel like a dangerous blow.
Right to wear it are being stopped, are being heckled by Hindu nationalists from going to school just because they're...
I've asked my students to heckle. I haven't heard any heckling, so right now they're all failing.
And Elon Musk, in many ways, embodies the core element of what I wrote about in Winners Take All, which...
And Rachel Reeves very much embodies that. I'm going to assume that there is...
It wasn't designed for science, but children are embodying, with their bodies, with the materials in a way are...
Which of these mindsets are embodied in you today? Maybe one or two of them already.
At the end of the day, I got to say this, embodying the spirit that Anderson and Killer Mike just left. Hip-hop was my first literary.
A big chunk of which goes to our bloated bureaucracy and defensive medicine. Test procedure.
The next morning at the starting line feeling very bloated. So now I just stay to a very simple diet.
Basics. Then it grew and bloated again. And during the pandemic, it's been an amazing excuse.
Like, I concede the government is often tired and bloated and inefficient. And as Bill Clinton said to me,
3 nations to ratify the statute of the International Criminal Court.
Know that less than a decade after the First Amendment was ratified, Congress passed and President John Adams signed
with the Bill of Rights and got ratified somehow, weirdly. Fairly recently, but
will you feel like your efforts have been ratified if you come back with a supermajority next year?
Well, I think
we're still waiting for it to be ratified. It takes all of us in this room.
To the fruit sellers or the tailors, I got stares so sharp that they sliced away bits of me.
You can kind of create combinations that are tailored to individuals, and that will be more efficient for the client.
My grandmother got to work for tailoring. They were producing stuff for the German army.
Pursue
And then we craft and tailor the solutions to our values and
these days, and we have to tailor our sanctions policy to match the era in which we're operating.
At that speed, you don't have time to overthink what you're going to say. You don't have time.
Not a zebra. Come on, you don't have to overthink this. This guy's a cretin, and he's going.
We think about, because if you let your mind overthink, all the negativity, and we think about, because if you let your mind overthink, all the negativity and
drop it in a pot. You don't have to compost, right? People overthink that. You can just drop it into a pot and grow other plants. And
all kind of just spent hunkered down into our homes. Did that?
What do I actually need if I need to hunker down? What can I get online? What's loaded up into the
and we hunkered down until we could determine what
situations. Like, was it just I need to kind of hunker down and keep going, or how did she see those?
Yeah, I mean, she
had timber, and there were ones that hunkered down in the valley, and there are other ones up on stilts. And I just think
this really does kind of dramatize it. So when the whole thing falls apart, sense of the word.
Yeah, you dramatize that in The Good Place with the character Doug, who basically.
So, if they were to dramatize your biography, if they're to take So Me,
and in fact, I can dramatize this a bit by mentioning that when I was born,
your understanding of your own story, having seen it dramatized in a film, did it change how you saw your own journey and your own?
Right? Take away their power, disarm them. Start to ask them questions. Are these emotions
deployed to disarm landmines, quietly tending to a small herd?
This is essentially unilaterally disarming in this arms race between
the counseling service. Yeah, it's very disarming when you could just talk and not feel like you're being.
Yesterday, listening to the song "Disarm," I swear I listened to it 12 times in a row. I think that song is.
Rebates and such.
The season opener against Bates, he had a loss at Hop.
This conversation today with Laura Bates, who is founder of the Everyday Sexism Project.
The penalty kick moments that we watch with bated breath, I don't even imagine how you stand on that line.
One of my personal faves, Laura Bates, speaks about this in her book, Men Who Hate Women.
To continue to irrigate itself. This vineyard is 100% dry farmed.
To the Mesquital Valley to irrigate around 80,000 hectares, or what here is around 200.
Of how much water it takes to irrigate a crop or to produce or manufacture a product.
Arabia, another place where we're irrigating in a very dry area.
This landscape would initially be irrigated because the plants were very, very small with aquifer water, and then
and what consistently underscores objectionable fakes are elements of deception.
What I want to do for a few minutes today is to underscore the importance of a female.
Wow. Preventable. I keep underscoring preventable. Preventable health.
Here on campus to underscore what I mean about learning everything about.
Live in a constant state of awareness, underscored by fear, and for good reason. An
economy absolutely saturated with smart machines. That's a creative task.
Live in food environments that are so saturated with sugar.
Rainfall. It doesn't even saturate the ground. It just like hits the ground and then evaporates. It's totally Martian.
From carbohydrates, saturated fat intake should be limited.
The big difference, everybody's all hopped up about saturated fats, but look at where the big difference is.
And Putin prodded them in the chest in Ukraine, and he got an almighty shock. Not only
introduce things like the social prod, which is the endorsement, right? So before there's a recommendation
to mass produce several vaccines. It was an amazing scientific achievement.
It's about, boy, everybody hits.
Crossed the pond as an idea, and a good way to prod us to spend rather than save for the holiday.
narrow because you're basically deforming a stretchy material or elastic material. So then this plane started to deform because of her study of trying to deform the model of the Sendai media tech.
Seal was deformed and actually bulged out a little bit. And
its own self-weight start to deform. And rather than counter, having the structure to counter that.
Vocabio, available in Google Play. Download, discover, improve your English.